Hello, hi. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. So today I'm going to be talking about recitation. Hopefully this will be a short video, but I can go on and on about it. We just started practicing recitation formally maybe 2 years ago when we started year 1 in Ambleside Online. And last year was an experimental year because I added a charter school involved. You know, it's how do you present a Charlotte Mason or a classical way of doing something without a worksheet? And I had to prove that. So I actually sent videos to my teacher of my daughter reciting, you know, one of her poems, one of her favorite poems, which is Christina Rossetti, What is Pink? That is one of her favorite. And she loves Christina Rossetti as a poet. And I think it's because her poetry is just so wholesome and vivid, and it's beautiful. Zelda really got it. My daughter Zelda really fell in love with it. I would try other poetry just because that was part of our learning, curriculum. But she's just like, no, Mom, I just really want Christina. I'm like, okay. So now we know who her favorite is. In any case, so this year we are in year 3 with Ambleside Online, and we are continue to practice recitation. Now, I noticed with a recitation, I didn't understand the concept of it. I didn't understand, this was maybe about 2 years ago, did not understand how important it was going to be in our lives. Oops, sorry, I moved it. So being able to recite something every day, whether that is, and I remember this in school, you're reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, you're reciting words that they stick to you and you just don't forget it. And maybe I know that's why it's important to recite out loud scripture. You know, it's going to stick to you. It's important to recite the Psalms. You know, it's important to recite something that you want to remember. It's important maybe to narrate out loud. I mean, my husband, doesn't know it, but he's kind of like there, so he has to listen. He's happy to listen to me retell something, when I'm narrating back to him, what am I reading in my book? So it sticks to me, and it just makes it alive. Recitation has made scripture out loud, reading out loud, and poetry just alive in a homeschool in my daughter's life. It's just part of our culture now. She understands it. She's like, oh, of course. My daughter also has a hard time saying certain words, stuttering. I understand because I had that twin language. So for the longest time, my sister and I don't know if anyone understood us, but we had a weird language. And if you've heard it before, I'm sure they're out there, it's a twin thing. But we had a hard time speaking, even joining a school, like a preschool, or we couldn't join a preschool because we couldn't talk. So I've had issues with speech, and I've had embarrassing moments of slurring my words or saying something, that sounded funny or sounded childish, and not childish in the way of immature, but just like a child would say, or there's been many moments. So in any case, recitation for my daughter has allowed her to just stop, slow down, and to think of what she is saying, whether she's reading it for the first time or she's stopped and she's remembering what the next verse is going to be, or the next sentence or the stance. We are in our 3rd year, and with Ambleside, and I'll just share with you which one we're going to do. For term 1, for the year 3, we are going over, for our poet, I believe it's the first one is William Blake, and so we're going to be reciting two poems of William Blake. We have The Tiger, and then this is Eternity. So I just went ahead on Canva and I just designed this real quick for her, print it out, and I am putting this in her morning menu. I have a morning menu. Oops, sorry, that I made. I hit my face. And I'm gonna place it in there. Oops, oh my goodness. So that every day we are reciting it, that she's reciting it. So you can see how long this poem and how maybe it can be a little intimidating. Sorry, I know I got the cinematic feature on. Should take it off, but we're going by verse by verse by verse. So on Friday we did the first verse. Today we did our 2 verses together. And so we're reciting it. She's speaking, with beautiful language. She's going to be clear. And I tell her, let's stop. Let's practice. Put your hands down, sit up straight or stand up. It's best when she stands up and recites. Stand up and say it as beautiful as you can say it, beautifully as you can say it. And it helps her just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. And as clear as you can. So we are doing that. We're going to be doing those 2 poems, and we have 3 Bible verses. Let me close this. So the Bible verses, I'm going off Amplified Online. Like I said, I'm going to be following along with their suggestions because they did the work for me. But we are going to use the 3 verses, and and they really do encourage, I didn't understand it until this year, to use the King James Version of Scripture. And not in the Bible study or like your reading, but specifically for recitation. So the King James Version has that Shakespearean way of, with the words, Shakespearean, see, I need it, words, of way of saying things. So we are going to start reading plays. What is it? And even reciting the plays next year or in 5th grade. So having the King James Version, understanding the words that are being used in that version, and just getting used to your ears, having that exercise of hearing it in that way is less intimidating. And my daughter is starting to understand, oh, what does that word mean? Okay, I recognize it. I feel included when she finds something that sounds a little old, a little antique. So yeah, for instance, in Proverbs 2:5, for the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. So in the other versions, you probably won't hear cometh or giveth, but that's something I want her to get used to. And it's great to see someone so young just catch on. They're sponges. They could just do it. So those are our recitation for the first term. First term is 12 weeks. Now, and then eventually they are memorizing. So in our morning menu, I know this video went a little long. We'll just go a couple more minutes. This is where I store my recitation. Now, I do have the Lord's Prayer and the Apostles' Creed. This was from like last month, before we started school. So that's our recitation. My daughter knows the Apostles' Creed. She knows the doxology. She knows these things. First of all, we recite it out loud every week at our church. She's doing it every day. These are this is just part of her life, her culture, her upbringing, and so that's how I'm storing it. And if you're confused about this is just one of those menus that you get on Amazon for like the restaurant menus. I love it. I know I got it because a bunch of homeschool moms were using it, and they sell, if you're interested, like Etsy, a bunch like activities. I feel like I could just do my activity, but that's why I got this, just to store, and I can clean it. And we use that dry erase marker to make all kinds of, I don't know, just color. My 3-year-old will color in it, but we'll do our hymn and our folk song, just an old school folk song. On July, we did Your Grand Old Flag. I remember singing that as a kid, but my daughter, she knows the words, all the words. So in a way, she's reciting all of these songs, these hymns, all of it. It's either, whether it's sung or it's just spoken out. That's what she's doing. And an idea for recitations, which I got on a blog. I believe it's yourmorningbasket.com. I'm not sure. I have to double check, but I will go ahead and put that in like how do you say? I'll tag her so you can check out the website and the YouTube. She's a veteran homeschool mom. I believe she's Charlotte Mason or classical. I'm not sure. But she has tons of ideas, and one of her ideas was recitation is to do different voices, silly voices, acting it out while you're speaking and you're memorizing, you know, because these are memorizations you're going to end up memorizing. And that's something that she gave away as a free PDF if you join her email list. Happy to do so. And so those are little cards you can print out. I printed them out. I think they're just in my closet because I haven't taken out everything yet, my homeschool closet. But I printed them out and I laminated them and I made like a little punch hole and I put one of those keychain rings. I'm sorry, like the binder rings. Binder rings are different from keychains. And we just have it, you know, on hand so we can take it everywhere. But that's pretty much, I hear somebody. It's a little one right there. That's pretty much it. So if you're curious about recitation and you want to know more about it, you can start your own recitation. I know it's stuck. Oh, I see. Yes, it is stuck. You can start your own recitation as you're following along with your students. I'm going to grab mine. So hold on one moment. Let me grab mine so I can share with you what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I'm back. I helped her with her canoodle. My recitation, I'm practicing recitation to follow along with my daughters because they're witnessing whatever I do and whatever I teach, and I'm adding it to my mother culture. Basically, what's mother culture? I'll do a video about that later. My mother culture is a mom continuing her education, you know, enriching her life, making sure she is fulfilled in the things that she does, in the family, in devotion, in her spiritual life, and with beautiful things like reciting. So I'm going to be reciting William Shakespeare, Fairyland 1, because I'm reading George MacDonald's Fantasties, and I'm going to get into the Fairy Queen because I'm so interested. It's fascinating, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm nervous and excited, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching. Until next time. Until next time. Bye.